Hey guys, thank you for joining us for another Men's Bible Brief. If you can, join us on Wednesday mornings. The information is on the screen. If not, we got you covered on YouTube right here. Well, let's go ahead and join the brief in progress. God bless you.
Good morning. Thank you, Carl, for that introduction. Guys, we're going to do something a little bit different this morning. Pastor wanted us to talk about politics, and I think we're going to talk about it in a different aspect than what he was looking for. But nevertheless, I think it's going to be profitable for us as we go forward. I want to talk to you this morning about the most effective political action group, which happened to be a nonprofit called Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, as I said, is a nonprofit organization that was established in the 80s. It has an office in Canada, United States, and Brazil, and it seeks to stop drunk driving, period. And it supports those affected by drunk driving. It helps to prevent underage drinking and strive for stricter impaired driving policies, whether that impairment is caused by alcohol or any other drug. The Irving, Texas-based organization was founded on September 5th, 1980 in California by Candace Lightner after her 13-year-old daughter, Carrie, was killed by a drunk driver. There is at least one MAD office in every state of the United States, and at least one in each province of Canada. These offices offer victim services and many resources involving alcohol safety. MAD has claimed that drunk driving has been reduced by half since it's founded. Now, for me, that is not really the most significant thing that MAD has done. Being a child of the mid-'60s and growing up where you had a bunch of uncles and aunties that loved that sweet spirit, alcohol. I remember times when my family, my uncle, not my dad, because my dad wasn't a drinker, but they were consistently ride around with open containers in their cars. Nowadays, that's unheard of. Why? Because of Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. Now, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, number one, was a focused group. They were focused on their goal, and their goal was to rid, as I stated earlier, people from getting hurt by drunk drivers. To rid drunk drivers of actually being under the wheel. So more laws have been enacted by Mothers Against Drunk Drivers than any other political group known to man to date. In the 80s, when they started, there were no laws on the book against, no significant laws anyway, on the books against drunk drivers. It was merely a misdemeanor. You could hit someone, kill someone today, and be out of jail tomorrow, and not suffer a stiff penalty. So all the laws that you see around drinking age, drinking and driving, were enacted because Mothers Against Drunk Drivers were focused. What made them so focused? They were focused because of the grief that they experienced. Mothers Against Drunk Drivers is not a political group per se. Excuse me. There's no red, white, or black. There is no Democrat, Republican, or independent. It is merely because mothers have experienced the greatest loss a parent can experience, and that's the loss of a child. And they want to help prevent others from having to experience that same pain. So it is grief that has brought these women together and organized this organization, and have done such a great job at trying to eradicate drinking and driving from our community. So just a couple other things about Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, and we're going to turn it over to Brother Bryson so he can give you all some knowledge about how we can move into action and knowledge about voting rights. So as I said, on May 3rd, 1980, Carmi Lightner, a 13-year-old girl, was killed by a drunk driver. The 46-year-old driver, who had recently been arrested for another DUI hit and run, left Carmi's body at the scene. Carmi's mother, Candace Lightner, organized Mothers Against Drunk Driving and subsequently served as its founding president until 1983. Now, in the early 80s, the group attracted the attention of the United States Congress Senator Frank Lautner, a Democrat in New Jersey, who did not like the fact that youth in New Jersey could easily travel to New York to purchase alcoholic beverages, circumventing New Jersey's law restricting consumption to those 21 years and older. So, as you can see here, they were focused. What made their group be so successful? Well, they targeted politicians. You know, people in power love to stay in power. So they targeted politicians who won by a very slim margin. And they set out a grassroots organization to gather petitions that these people signed an affidavit saying that they would vote against said politician if they did not vote in the affirmative to enact a law that Mothers Against Drunk Drivers were pushing. So they were focused and they went into action. And that, I believe, is what we need to do. We need to move into action if we are concerned about how our political powers that be are not going across the board, taking everybody's concerns into consideration. So at this time, I've said enough about Mothers Against Drunk Drivers just to give us a little shell of how we can move forward into action. And I'm going to turn this over to Bryson and let Bryson rock with us on the knowledge and education on how we can become more effective in our society. Go ahead, Bryson. Take it away.
Thank you, Reverend Hartfield. And mind if I can share my screen?
Let me see if I can give you the visit. There you go. So multiple. There you go.
All right. Are you able to see my PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
All right. So thank you again and good morning. Bryson Desenor, here with Men of Purpose, but also part of Social Justice Ministry. And just want to take a few minutes and talk about voting this coming up season, voting in 2023. You can't have action if you can't make that action happen. And how we make that action happen is through voting. So let's go ahead and talk about a few things just to make sure we're prepared to take whatever action is necessary this coming up voting session. So I wanted to hit on really three things: registration, making sure you're registered, what you need to do, account for with your voting plan, and then resources that are available through the church. So the basic qualifications must be a U.S. citizen, a resident of the county. So for those of you that have moved into Dallas County or Collin County or out of Dallas County or out of Collin County, you got to make sure you're registered with that county again. You have to fill out a new form. It's a white form we have at the church. And you got to fill that out, mail that in so they can have you registered in the county that you currently reside. You must be 17 years and 10 months to be registered, right? So if the election is November 7th, you must be born November 7th of 2005 to be registered. So you're nephews, your nieces, those young people that aren't quite 18, but they'll be 18 by election day. We need to get them registered also. Make sure you pass the word on to them. Not convicted of a felony unless the person's sentence has been complete, unless the sentence has been completed, including parole, probation, or the person has been pardoned or otherwise released from the resulting disability to vote. Make sure you're clear on this because we don't want to be we're in a political environment that could really hem you up. I don't if you have a conviction, make sure you're all the way clear before you can before you attempt to vote, because I hate for anybody to be in a situation where they're getting hemmed up on that, and especially in Texas. Not a person determined to be a final judgment of a court exercise probate jurisdiction to be totally mentally incapacitated or partially mentally incapacitated. I'm not sure all the ins and outs on those laws, but if that's where you fall, you're not able to vote. You're not qualified to register to vote. So getting registered, these are the two applications. So you have the white form. This is a self-service form. If you see me at service and you want to just fill it out yourself and get it turned in, like I said, if you change counties or you just want to go ahead and get registered for the first time, take it to a niece or nephew, just see me at church. I can get you this white form and we can and you can knock it out and mail it into the office that you need to. This is for Dallas County. They'll accept it in other counties, but this is if you've moved into Dallas County or you need to get somebody registered, this is your form. BDR assisted. That's if you want me to sit down with you, fill it out for you, and go turn it in for you. This is the green one that we would fill out together. I'll give you a receipt at the end of our conversation when we're done filling it out, and then I'll take it to the Dallas County Election Office for you. Like I said, our social justice ministry, we also have a Collin County BDR, so we can get you taken care of if you're in Collin County also. So to check your registration status, this is one website. Let me take you to the website real quick. Let me switch my share. I'm not trying to cancel or leave the meeting. I apologize. New share. Okay, so this is the voter registration website, right? Dallas County Elections. This is where you go and check your registration status, right? All you need is your first name, your last name, and your date of birth. Oh, let me change the format, make sure that's good real quick. Just want to see, got me active as my status. This is where you also get your sample ballot. So you have your voter registration, and if you're unable to view your sample ballot, now one thing about sample ballots, they don't come out until 30 days before. So we have until October 7th. We have a month. So I just want to show you that site real quick. Now I'm gonna switch my share back to PowerPoint. All right. So in 30 days, like I said, October 7th, you can go on that same website and see your sample ballot so you know who you're voting for. Now, the last Sunday, if you're going to get some help from one of us at the church to register to vote, is October 8th. So don't procrastinate on it. Come see us before October 8th if you have any questions. Get your ballot early. That way, if you do have to change your mind and you do have to get some assistance, need assistance with a question or anything, come see myself October 8th, before October 8th. So your voting plan. Okay, so election day this year, we have an election coming up November 7th, right? That's a Tuesday. It's going to be from 7 to 7. The important things on this, voters in Dallas County, you can vote at any location that's a polling location. If I want to go on the south side or north side, east side or west side, it doesn't matter. I can go vote there. Voter ID, there's the voter ID requirement. So driver's license, your actual voter ID registration, water bill, utility bill, so showing your residency. Those are the types of things you'll need to go register. They also have curbside voting also if that's something you need to go do. You pull up, you'd call the location, somebody would come out and help you, and they can't assist you with your ballot. They can't vote for you, right? You got to be able to read the ballot and navigate that yourself. So that's just a little information on election day. We also have early voting. That early voting, oh, it's moving fast. I apologize. That early vote is going to start October 23rd, and it's going to run all the way until November 3rd. So if you want to skip all the lines, I think this will be a smaller election. It's not a presidential election, but still, I prefer early voting because you walk in, you walk right on out. No wait or none of that stuff. So October 23rd through November 3rd is going to be your early voting period. No business hours, 8 to 5, on the weekend, 7 to 7. Again, you can vote any location, must be 18. Um, and that's really the big thing for that. Voting by mail. Those of you that are able to vote by mail, you got to get your registration in early enough to get your application back. They don't go based off a postmark. They go based off of when they receive it. So if you're 65 or older, go ahead and get your application in if you're going to be voting by mail this year. If you have a disability, get your application in. This is the men's Bible brief, so I expect anybody to be giving birth, but if you have a spouse or a significant other that's going to be giving birth within 3 weeks, and she may not know if she'll be able to go in and vote, go ahead and get that mail-in ballot application filled out. That way we can have our voices heard. These other options here for people civilly committed. If you're going to be out of time during the entire period, the early voting and actual election day, go ahead and get that set up. If we have any people in jail, they're also eligible for mail-in ballot. And then part of the Attorney General address confidentiality program. So if you're, I guess, confidentiality program, let's get your mail-in ballot application filled out because we're about 2 months out from the election. So we need to go ahead and start working on that stuff now. That way, you know how government works. Paperwork gets lost. People take their time, and you get in a situation where you don't have what you need to vote. And let's make sure we can take action so our voices are heard. So just as a little resources here, the Christ Community Social Justice Ministry, we're working on reserving a room right now. So after service, we want to be able to help you out with this voter registration application. Sample ballots when they come out. If you're having trouble with the website, you can't find your sample ballot, we'll help look that up for you. Mail-in ballot assistance. We can't help you fill out your mail-in ballot. We can help you with the application. And then voter education. We're doing some engagement. We're trying to do some bipartisan engagement so we can post some stuff for people to get some resources, really hopefully hear from some candidates, hear from some platform here out some platforms of what's going on in our area, Collin County and Dallas County. If you need me to help you out, but you can't make it to whatever room we get assigned to after service, just shoot me an email, bdesenor@ccrichardson.org, and I'll help you out. I'll meet you where you're at. I'll do what I can to meet you where you're at. Questions? All right.
That's
no
it.
questions. I'm gonna stop there.
Amen. Well, thank you. Thank you, Brother Bryson. I really appreciate you putting that knowledge, that information out there. We perish for what? For a lack of knowledge. So we thank you, my brother, for being engaged on this particular situation. And we pray God's strength that this ministry continues to grow and educate people about civics 101, the simple things, right? Get out, make your voice heard. If you don't vote, you cannot be heard, and you should not complain if you don't vote. So a couple of questions that we have for this brief is, in what ways, number one, in what ways can you affect change today? And number two, what drives you to get involved? Grief, love, or political injustice? It might be another idea or situation that gets you involved, but whatever it is, we implore you, get involved today, because tomorrow may be too late. Just like receiving the gospel, get to know him today. because tomorrow may be too late. Thank you again, Bryson. And to Carl, we want to thank you, and we'll turn it back over to Carl.